Bless up, bless up. Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Hope y'all doing well. It's a beautiful morning. Oh, hope y'all doing extremely well today. How y'all doing? Good morning, Happy Mac. Good morning to you. Hope everything's going your way today. Jay, how you doing? JW. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How y'all feeling? Grand Rising. Grand Rising to you as well. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Kathy B. How you doing, Miss Kathy B? How you doing this morning? Hope everything's going well and going to your liking. Yes, sir. Bless up, family man. How you doing? Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is a great morning. Give me 1 second. Let me grab something real quick. Who else we got in here? Yeah, bless up, my brother. Hold on, real quick. I had to go grab my timeline. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Send a little sunshine my way. Let me share a little bit with you, Happy Mac. We're gonna spin you around, y'all. So that's what it looks like on the homestead. Beautiful morning. When you think about it, it's a beautiful, 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 beautiful morning. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. This is what I've been missing, y'all. This is what I've been missing. I've been missing the homestead, been missing the pups. They over there doing their thing. One chewing on a bone, one of them looking for something else. But yeah, I mean, it's a blessing to be back home. It's good. I spent all majority of the day doing yard work. The grass got a little bit high. Everything got a little bit. I'm glad all is well, Kathy B. It got a little bit of height to the grass and weeds. So me and the lawnmower, we went on a date pretty much all day yesterday. Still got a lot to do, but hey, the weather's starting to cool down. I don't know about what you all are. Hopefully none of you all are being impacted by the storm. But if you are, I send out my thoughts and prayers to you all, and I hope all goes well with that process. That's a solar day. Yes, definitely a solar day. The sun is slowly creeping around the edge of the trees over here, and they're gonna eventually be pointing in my direct sunlight. That's gonna be my cue to get on up out of here. Peace to you as well. Peace to you as well. Thank you because it's raining here. Definitely appreciate the rain, but I love the sunshine. Yeah, I mean, I hope that you all get the necessary rain that you need. Hopefully, it won't impact you in a negative fashion or a negative capacity. Right now, the weather is simply beautiful here. It has a little coolness, but today is a little bit warmer than the previous days. It started off nice and cool, but it has definitely increased. So we're gonna jump on in. Welcome to this edition of Eco Nation News. You came on in because maybe it's some news you can use or maybe not use, but hopefully this broadcast will be beneficial to you. So as you all know, if y'all been watching, I've been out of town, which is nothing normal, but this one was an extended stay. Normally I'm gone maybe 1 or 2 days, but to be gone for pretty much almost a week, I don't care too much for those days. I feel like I'm losing a lot on the homestead. Y'all hear Sean in the background, but I feel like time goes by very quickly when you're doing something you love, and I feel like time kind of slowly, gently slows down when you're doing something that you don't too much care for. Vegas is sunny. I'm quite sure it's sunny in Vegas and hot, of course. Much love to you in Vegas. Cassandra, how you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning. So at the top of the news Uh, at the top of the news, we got some alarming information that happened on yesterday. I noticed that. Hey, Gigi, how you doing?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
So I noticed there was a baby fawn deer.
Oh gosh.
Are we gonna jump into that, or you want to do something with Sean? So we won't jump into that
no.
immediately.
I wasn't even gonna release that.
We're not. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Sean then. Miss Gigi always she keeps me on task.
Well, because like it's disturbing.
It's
so
nature.
A lot of people get triggered by stuff that you don't even understand or know. So
all right. So I will go into Sean. So apparently Sean has some new chicks. I heard him peeping, and I don't think we can avoid this, y'all. Just like with the fawn, I don't think these chicks will last too long because the last few chicks, they pretty much did chick annihilation. I don't know if we can escape some of these things. This is nature. This is the way how things going. But yesterday morning, we were awakened. First, I heard a lot of birds.
The dogs actually. The dogs started because they heard something. Yeah. They were they are really good about letting us know that something or somebody is around. They're very good about that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So early that morning, we were awakened by some dogs, right? And the dogs were pretty vocal. And of course, we didn't have the windows open because we didn't want to hear. It was early in the morning. And then later, after the dogs were barking, I heard these unique sounding birds, and there was a lot of them. And they were flying overhead. And they was very vocal, but it was a sound I'm not used to. I could tell they were migratory birds. And after the birds, I heard shots. I mean shots upon shots upon shots upon shots. It got so bad that I got up, I walked outside, and they sounded very, very close.
Yeah.
Some of them probably were kind of close in the neighboring woods.
They were.
And I'm definitely going to have to put up more signage. I'm going to have to put up more alerts. But those shots, they kept continuously going. I fired a warning shot because one of them sounded like it was pretty close. So I fired a warning shot, letting them know, hey, there's people back here. And they kind of slowed down a little bit. Then they began again. And you can tell it was a lot of different
calibers,
guns. Distance was varied. Some of it was close. Some of it was kind of a distance. So I got in my truck and I went around to kind of take a look at my neighbor's property. And down the road, he owns a peanut gin. I could hear that running in the background. We can hear it right now running in the background because it's peanut season time. And I looked in the field. It was corn. It was like a cornfield, and the field were decorated with hunters. There were hunting dogs. There were decoys. It looked like they were duck decoys. They were just spinning. Some of them were kind of hidden in some of the corn patches. They had corn patches that they strategically left out there. Is that Shy? How you doing, Shy? Good morning. How y'all doing? So there was Laura's garden. How you doing? There were hunters decorated throughout this field. This field probably about 15, 16, maybe 15 acres. That portion of the field is. I don't know why you're doing this.
Okay.
It's about 15, 16 acres.
Okay.
I ain't talking about where the trailers are. It's near the road where they were.
Oh, okay.
They were in that little corner patch. It's a corner patch of where they grew corn. Maybe it's 20 acres. I would say probably about 20 acres. But they were decorated out there. And let's see. I counted probably about 20 trucks. So apparently my neighbor allowed people to hunt in that area. And they were hunting for, I guess, migrating birds, ducks. So I don't think they were doves. Somebody said my husband thinks they might have been hunting for doves. They could have been, but they look bigger than doves. They look like probably like a duck. I think they were duck hunting, and there was a lot of them. I mean, they were coming in droves, and they were just firing them off, and they'll come in pockets, and the dogs were grabbing them. It was live action there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year I actually last year I heard them.
I know. Come to think about it, we did.
Yeah,
We did.
last year.
But it was nowhere near as many as
it
was
just
this year.
wasn't as many people. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, last year. So this is apparently something that they do once a year.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know. It kind of took me back to it was like can you imagine there was like a takeover of seas and people in the distance, like it made me think about all Civil War and all that kind of stuff about, here you are, you think you can hold your own. And that's why I always tell you, Gigi, I said, look, we're going to let them have it, but we're going to plant stuff all the way, all around here where they not going to know how to forest, but we're going to just dip somewhere off, let it calm down and come back. Because reality is, if you got a militia coming at you,
Yeah,
and you think you're going to,
wait, sorry, got a militia of your own, then
yeah,
like one or two people, the lone wolves, they like have a team of people. Still have somebody. You can be a lone wolf for your everyday, but like for if things start to go wrong, then definitely have a tribe of people that will be willing to come to your rescue. I wanted to go back to that. Alodio Prolon, how you doing? How you doing, everybody?
Thank
Good
you,
morning,
thank
everybody.
you for pronouncing Alodio. I've been
Alodio.
avoiding the name. I just want to say Prolon.
Haven't laid
Alodio.
eggs in a few months. What's your thoughts on that, Yvonne?
Well, when our chickens had that time when I can remember not laying eggs, protein is the game. I cooked them a steak. I mean, you don't have to cook them a steak, but I get them. I increase their protein intake. That's my recommendation. If your chicken's not laying eggs, give them some protein. And I always knew my great grandmother. She used to do that periodically, and it worked. I mean, they weren't laying for months, and then all of a sudden I started feeding them high protein, giving them meat. All of a sudden they started producing. I mean, you could just tell that they were just totally different birds. And I got one chicken that does nothing but sit on the nest.
I mean,
she
is always broody.
All
Always.
And
if there's anything, I mean, we can move. Like we took some eggs we had one pen back here behind us, and then we had that one. We took eggs from that pen and moved them here before we combined all the chicks together. And she just, whatever is available, she's gonna sit on it. Like she was even broody when there was no hen, no rooster there.
Yeah.
Like something crawling on my back.
Go pull up.
Not down that far.
You okay?
It felt like someone crawling up my back. So stupid. But anyway.
I never told you got a sexy back. I'm just wondering.
Yes, you have. But let's keep it moving.
Okay.
But
all right.
she would even when there was no rooster in there with her, she would still sit on the eggs, and we just used to run her off and take the eggs. But now we just like leave her alone and let her live her life.
Now let me let you know.
Oh, and another thing.
Okay.
Another thing. So
remind me to come back.
Camera.
1 minute. Remind me
to Happy Mac. Okay.
Remind me to come back.
And another thing, several months back, earlier in the year, I would say there was some issues with the feed. So you might want to check your feed. You might want to check and see if the feed that you're giving your chickens were involved in the alleged scandal that was happening with the chicken feed. So you may want to check that as well.
Yeah, change up on that feed.
But yeah, we definitely gave them like meat and stuff and whatever. Hey Kenya,
how you doing? How you doing? Now let's go back to Kathy B and Happy Mac. Did you all know when I went riding over there, where it was way too many people in one field? It was way too many people. My truck, I could feel the pellets raining down on my truck when I rode around there. Um, it was clearly
irresponsible.
Irresponsible. Yeah. I would say that that amount of space, even if it was 30 acres, that's too much for that many people.
Yeah.
And like I said, them birds didn't have a chance flying over there. So I saw quite a few of them. So one thing I definitely gonna do, especially when I do my pond, I'm gonna clear out some acreage, and I'm gonna put some decoys out there. But I want them to be able to rest.
What you mean?
Like when they migrate like that. The reason why they come, they want to rest. They looking for a place because they're tired. They looking for a place to rest, an open field.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, look at these two. Look at these. Look at it. Look at that foolishness.
Even laying down.
They fight. That's some straight foolishness right there. They can't even get up to fight. They just constantly.
They've been hard at it all morning though.
They just constant. And they into something all the time. They laying down, play fight. Well, I tell you. So now that we gone to the dogs, let's talk about the dogs a little while.
Right, you were gonna go back to Happy Mac and who else?
That's what I was talking about the unsafe piece. So here it was. I was cutting the yard yesterday, and I noticed a fawn. I don't think I'm pretty sure the fawn wasn't that healthy.
Yeah, it was definitely injured.
Yeah, it was.
I could tell how it was running.
It was kind of moving, and it just laid over in the woods, and I could just see it. And normally fawns, they're gonna be still. If they do lay, they're not gonna be up and walking in, turn around and see me, and then lay down. So I knew something was wrong. But here I am. I noticed, I was moving around the yard, and I noticed it was just coming around. I could hear it in the woods, and I went on to continue to doing my yard work, and all of a sudden, I hear some bustling, rustling in the woods, and up come a fawn, and right behind the fawn are two.
Trigger warning.
These two are chasing the fawn.
Baby lion.
I mean, they are very close to the fawn. They practiced these moves, and so I knew what they were gonna go after, the legs. So they tripped up the fawn, and let's just say it wasn't a good ending.
Yeah.
But these beasts that we have here, these evil.
They are precious. They are not
evil beings that we have here. They are straight murderers, really. I mean, they don't understand it. Like they look for opportunities to conquer, to gather, to forge.
I feel like just kind of watching them, it was still, they were aggressive, but it was still like the same way that they play with each other, because
there wasn't no same way.
Most of the time,
that adrenaline was pumping.
Shaka is going to grab Musa by the back leg, by the tail, and shockingly, Musa actually, I think as we got closer, he got more.
Hey, Sweet Thumb.
Hey, Sweet Thumb, how you doing?
Great times. How you doing?
As we got closer to them and the deer, Musa started to be more aggressive, and Shaka started to kind of back up, because at first we were like whoa,
Yeah.
But the deer was like, it was broken at the shoulder. I could tell it was badly injured already, which is why it was just kind of moseying around here.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it actually ran back towards us,
it kind of ran
in between us, but it couldn't run fast.
It was running for dear life.
It was running as much as it could, but it couldn't really run fast because it was already broken. So, I didn't want to talk about it, but
hey J3,
how you doing? How you doing?
How you doing, sir? Yeah, it sounds cruel.
Yeah,
when you say
it's
like
nature.
It was cruel,
you know,
but it's nature. I mean, it's nature, and the thing is.
But we also want them to be ready for the coyotes.
There we go. That's
have coyotes.
Training ground. We got wolves and coyotes.
Wolves and coyotes.
Because, like I told you all in the previous, especially when we first got here, I know my oldest daughter, and myself, we saw one run across the road, and the crazy thing is that my neighbors told me there was an old guy that lived not too far from us. He bred half dog, half wolves. He said some of them were actually wolves, and when he passed, they just released them, which, that's the country. People do stuff like that in the country.
They just, if you out here, I mean, you're going to get all the gunshots. You're going to get the ATVs and all of that stuff, and, the loud trucks, and you're just going to get the country stuff. Yeah. That's just what it is, And it doesn't bother me so bad. Like, he was like, man, it's Saturday morning, and he be wanting quiet. He just wants peace and quiet on a Saturday, Sunday morning, and, the fact that they were over there and there was just like a lot of people shooting, that kind of irritated them. But for me, I was just like, babe, this is the country. I mean, this is just what we do. When we get ready, that's what we do. So.
Yeah, and like I said, it's a clear distinction. Are we frozen?
We're going on my phone.
Okay, we're moving too. So it's a clear distinction that when you're out here, you don't have a lot of people walking around in your yard. You don't have a lot of people too much breaking, no entering. You don't have, like the thugs and the gangs and stuff. And just in case you want to know what she's watching.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah. All day long. All day long. Yeah. That's them all day long. And so it's nonstop. But we don't have a lot of stuff that the cities have, but we do have our own things. And it's really not a threat. But it also made me think, waking up that morning, it made me think about, are you really prepared for if there was some type of takeover, if there was some type of militia that came after you, are you really prepared? Because I don't care if your gun shot, you have a repeater, or I don't care if you have an automatic weapon or what have you. But when you're dealing with avid hunters and multiple hunters coming in all different directions, hunters that are not afraid to walk through the woods, to come on your backside, or the ones that are coming straight in front of you as a decoy for people to come back behind you and ambush you. That's just one of them things,
Yeah.
And it really keeps you. It put things in perspective to let you know that you can think you're big and bad all you want to. There's always somebody big and badder than you are. And another thing, like Gigi mentioned about those alliances, you got to go get them. They got to come to you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have them right there on your property. So that's another thing where I say, Eco Nation long term, I definitely want to build a community of like-minded people, and I definitely want to welcome that community so we can be growing together. You know what I'm saying? So that we could definitely be able to help one another, be able to support one another for whatever happens. You ain't got nothing to say. What? Come on. Something ain't right here.
Yeah.
No, I just tired of these bugs. I got those. I got that for those bugs.
A country ex-military guy. Good luck.
Ooh, and some of them don't even have to be military. They just live the life, man. Growing up, I had this friend. When I tell you, he was raised to be, even though he didn't even serve, he was raised to be like I don't know what you call people like that. I mean, his grandfather.
You want to be rich?
What's up, be rich? What's going on? His grandfather was a veteran of World War II. His dad was a veteran of Vietnam. His uncle was a state trooper. And when I tell you, growing up as a young guy, ever since we were small, like 6 and 7, or maybe 7 and 8, always had a gun. Always had. He had a barn, and then the barn had all. It was like going through a museum of artifacts and war items, and they collected them between those two generations. And we would suit up. We would go and gear up, and we would take. I mean, they had those what you call those things where you keep water in canteens.
Oh.
They had knives. They had compasses. They had guns with the spears on the end.
Yeah.
Come, get away from the tree. Y'all want some puppies?
Anybody?
Did anybody want
Free
two puppies?
to a good home.
Anybody want two puppies? They come as a package.
They're not that bad.
They come as a package.
They're not that bad.
They're not that good either.
Hi, y'all, Sweetwater Garden.
Up,
How
y'all?
You doing?
So today we're going to transition into. I wanted to go over a timeline for planning for a homestead. So
planning?
Yes, planning for a homestead. So we're going through the process of how many years do you think to properly for the average person? I'm not talking about people who wealthy, people who got a bunch of assets. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about all that kind of stuff. But what I want to talk about, let's talk about a realistic goal and a timeline on if you're considering buying land. And I know we share the challenges with it, but I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, there's nothing in the world like this here. And this is true freedom to me. You know, this is also, it's enriching to my soul. It's enriching into my mindset. And one bad thing about this homesteading, you can create environments so good and conducive to you that it makes you weak with dealing with society.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to incorporate society. You know, much as I love traveling, much as I love interacting with people, this place here will, if you don't pull yourself away from it sometimes, it will have you so conditioned to be in that sterile type environment that's warm and inviting that you need to get out.
Yeah.
You need to explore, interact, and do some things, because I see why people that live in this type of environment for a long period of time, they be so disconnected from.
And also when you think about people who, like you said, people who have money, they can't even relate to people like us. Yeah. They can't even relate to, you know, the poor and middle class people, because they're in environments that really separate them a lot from our lived experiences. Mm-hmm. And so they're just accustomed to having things, you know, getting a lot of stuff for free, just because of their name or their family or, you know, their connections or whatever. But then, you know, when you're on the other end of it, like, you kind of have to do everything yourself. You don't have a whole bunch of people who are willing to come to your aid and your rescue and to help you to clear your land and know somebody that's going to put in a well and septic for, you know, $10,000 versus 20, 30,000. So it's just a different world. So we have to be aware also that this is our world, but it's a whole different world out there.
You learn with Robert. How you doing?
How you doing, Robert?
So realistically, I think for the average person that wants to go and pursue this as a dream, or even if you just say, hey, I just want a nice piece of land. I don't necessarily want to live off grid, but I just want a nice piece of land. I want to build my dream home, and I want to work the land, and I want to live off the land.
Yeah.
I would say you need a minimum probably of at least anywhere from 2 years to 4 years. Would you agree with that?
If you're doing it and you have no infrastructure and you have trees. So there's a difference when you can just drive your RV out on the land and you don't have any obstructions. You don't have anything blocking you or anything like that. It's totally different. Yeah, you can set some stuff up in no time. But when you're talking about, we had trees. Actually have a video coming that's going to show you guys from the beginning, how it looked out here versus how it looks now. It was like night and day. And the family, when the family comes out, they don't even recognize it because they're just like, whoa, it was just a bunch of trees. It was just trees. It was beautiful, but we had to get up in here. So I think that's a huge difference. So if you have already cleared space, if you already have you an acre clear or 2 or 3 acres clear on your land, then like you got it easy. You really got it easy. But when you start talking about a piece of land that nobody has lived on and all you got is a bunch of trees, and when you're talking about building a homestead, you got to get those roots up. I mean, Eco Neighbor could try to cut down a tree if he wants to, but those roots were causing us so much trouble. When we first came up in here, it was causing us so much trouble. So we had to go back and get those roots up. How you doing? How you doing, Miss Linda?
So Sweet Thumb says 5 years like most business. So, well, I'm just starting off. I think you're absolutely right. I think we would have to be out here for 5 years minimum to even put a scratch or dent into what we're trying to develop and do.
Right.
I totally agree with that. But just to get in this process, just to get here on the land, just to get things started, get things underway.
Yeah,
I'm saying that's fast if you're doing it in 2 years to 4 years.
I was about to say, and let me just say this: Eco Neighbor is a different type of dude.
Right.
He is worker when it comes to the homestead, when it comes to what he wants to do, accomplishing, his physical tasks that he wants to do. It ain't about to take him no 2 years. As y'all can see, we did this and actually got out here and got the cabin out here in under a year. So he's just a different kind of guy when it comes to the way that he works. He is going, hey David, how you doing? He is going to work. He's gonna work like every day. We put so many miles on that truck just coming here every day because when he was, I wasn't working at the time, he was working, and we were living at the RV park. And so when we would come, when he would get off, I'd be looking at him like, I wonder if he wants to go today. And he looking at me like, give me a few minutes to change. I ain't even have to say nothing. He like, just give me a few minutes, let me change. And we were headed out here. So like last year, I'm not even gonna publicly say how many miles that we put on that truck, but it's almost time for us to sit the truck down. Now it's time for us to sit the truck down and let the truck just be like a local driver for us in our little area, and we're gonna have to get another vehicle in order to cover for the truck because like we put a unthinkable amount of miles just coming out here, even after work, after he had been at work all day, coming out here and doing some work. Just if we had to come out here and just cut down one tree, we would come that day, be like, okay, that one is the target for the day. That's our goal for the day. Take the, what you call them, the clipper things.
I can't never remember.
The loppers. Take the loppers and go in, cut a pathway. Cut a pathway through. So he just different when it comes to that. He is like relentless.
And even though we had planted pines in the first 7 acres of it, it still was growth all between. It wasn't managed. They didn't manage it at all. We had trees growing up underneath trees, and you couldn't just freely walk down the path.
No.
And it's still, you look over here to the side, it's still thick. It's a lot that still needs to be done.
Very.
I'm saying, truthfully, 5 years, you'll just be scratching the surface. And I'm talking about average. I'm not talking about people who have $500,000 or $1 million to drop into something and then to just do it. I'm talking about everyday working people who like Gigi say, you come after work, you do some work, you come on the weekends, you do some work on the weekends.
We're not talking about no little drive.
And then we had a commute.
Here,
we had a serious commute that taken out. When you look at 8-hour work days, really 9 hours, you count the time that you're there, and then you talk about 3-hour commute. Then you talking about working out there. Those some long days, and they can get.
But we were so excited.
Yeah.
We were so we were pumped. We were. It was full adrenaline, and it was hot. Okay, it was hot.
Yeah, I got some video. I got some video where it had the degrees on there. I think it was like 112 something.
Yeah, we were literally just walking around. We were just pouring water on ourselves to cool down because it was so hot. But we weren't complaining.
No.
We were just like, okay, let's slow down. Let's take a break. Pour some water on you, cool down, and then we do a little bit more, and then we were headed back.
That's why I say I wish I could have did this in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have, and I don't know how to persuade if you're 30 or under, or in your 30s or under, and you don't own your own home, change your situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm serious. I'm gonna beg you if I never want to kind of encourage you to do something physically tangible at all, I would say work towards building and developing your own establishment. The reason why I say that is because things hit different when every ounce and sweat that we put here is for us.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize that when you doing so much in this system and renting and working, when you think about it, you get a small bit of your reward. You work 40 plus hours. You get up an hour ahead of time to get ready. You then got to wind down after you get there. And then you got to do your bills and stuff that you couldn't do during the week, run your errands you couldn't do during the week. Then you come home, and it's nothing negative. We rented a lot of years, you know what I'm saying, between our homes. We always kind of semi-own a home, but then at the same time, the time we were renting, I was just frustrated because I was like, every single sweat and effort that I'm doing, I'm giving it out and away.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
And we were doing the
nothing.
math. Like we were doing the math. Like we were paying $1,000 for the apartment at the time. In between coming, we were paying $1,000 per month, and then we were doing the math. We were like, okay, 12 months, that's $12,000. 3 years, that's $36,000. That we're putting into something that is not, that we can't take nothing from them. Matter of fact, they're going to send you a bill when you leave there talking about you messed up the carpet or they had to do some, spackle on the wall or so like it's always some type of nonsense, when you're leaving these apartments and things. So all we're saying, and then I had a girl say, y'all talking all this about going and getting property, but we can barely make it from month to month. And I'm like, okay, well, think like this. If you could take the money that you're putting into that apartment, get you a piece of land, like be saving something. And we've already been through all this. Exactly. It's not no overnight thing. We went through a whole lunchtime live of all the stuff, a couple of them, as a matter of fact, of how we did this, how we finally got to the point where even after our home had been foreclosed on. How you doing, Emma? Even after our home had been foreclosed on, how we still jumped back into the game and then end up making a boatload of money so that we could do this. So it's not just fast, you're just going to do this in 30 days or less. I know we're in a microwave society and everybody wants everything right now, but that's just not the reality of it. We worked our butts off to get back to the point where we were in a position to be able to do it. So don't allow anything to be an excuse, because it's easy to make excuses. It's hard to put in the work and do what you need to do. So I'm like, can you imagine though, if you put your money If you put more of your money into a piece of land, even if it's a small piece of land, which is how we started, half acre, even if it's a small piece of land, put your money into that versus putting all your money into rent. Can you imagine what you can do then?
Yeah.
But see, people want to be comfortable.
And this is the part about that, kind of like what you're saying. There was times we were uncomfortable to get comfortable, and it's worth the sacrifice. Trust me. If you just be patient and be diligent, and like I said, these tips that I would like to share with you all, that we would like to share with you all, are just plans. So we're talking about a 2 year and a 4 year plan. Just go ahead and just say, hey, within 2 to 4 years, my goal is to own my own established piece of property. That's realistic.
Yeah, we put that money into rent too, and that thing, like, it didn't feel good.
Yeah.
It didn't feel nice, knowing that once we walk away, we still were going to get a bill. That we weren't going to be able to take anything for our benefit from that. Yeah, it provided shelter for us, and if that's the best that you can do, then doggone it, don't complain about it. Let that be your thing. Take care of it. Make sure that you don't mess up people them landlord stuff.
And I want to clear this up because Gigi be so straightforward. We're not saying you're complaining about nothing, but what we're saying is it gets frustrated, and we understand your frustration to the part where you get sick of being sick and you feel like you're not getting any traction, because we've been to that point where, what is it?
Hold on, this joker got my.
I told you, I heard it.
No.
Hit him on that nose right there.
Stop it.
Shaka. No. All right. But so you gotta sacrifice, and
he got my peppers, y'all. He was trying to tear up my peppers.
I heard that sound. I know that sound wasn't like nothing they should be into. But
don't be coming trying to get no love now. You bad.
But you want to just take the time. I don't care if it's $50 a month, $100 a month. You want to get your mind to the part where you're saying, hey, I'm going to start putting something to the side.
Yeah.
I'm going to start putting the little bit, $20 a month. It doesn't matter. And what some of the things that we've done over the period of time,
oh my gosh,
and I shared with you before, you can take the $20 and you can go to a place where it's a sale, a department store, whatever, and get something on a reduced amount, and you know it's a great sale, you know it's a great deal, and you can take photographs with it, upload it, open up your eBay account, or open up a Facebook, put it on Facebook Marketplace, and you want to sell and let that $20 make you some money. I don't care whether you sit that $20 into a savings account. Every vehicle that you have should be making you some money in everything you're doing. Now, you might take that $20 and make $25. $25 can buy you a little bit more. You know, don't take no crazy chances. Do something that's sure, that you know about. If you know about purses, you know about shoes, you know about watches, whatever you master, whatever gift you have, and you really know about it, put yourself in a winning situation.
Yeah.
And you know that there's a demand for it. Be patient enough to do it and be strategic about what you're doing, even if you just take $10 out of that 20. You know, but what you want to do is you want to boost that way of generating some extra income, because if you're struggling, if you're in a situation where your everything is tight, you don't have no money to save, we can find a way. We can put something to the side, do without a meal, do without a drink, do without something, just 1 day or 2 days. That's the beginning. It's a small step, but it starts your mind to start thinking. And once you start watching that 20 becomes 500 and 600, it started to pump and motivate you.
Hey, Nikki.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We were watching this thing where this millionaire. Well, I think they had like a lot of them that were they were challenging to not use any of their contacts, like kind of go undercover, and they were taking away all of their wealth and saying, basically, I bet you can't get back to where you were. not having any resources, not having any connections, and those millionaires kept showing them over and over again. And the thing that they were doing is exactly what he just said.
Yeah.
They were going to stores. One of them, he didn't even have any money, and so he couldn't go nowhere. So what he did was he went to Craigslist. He looked up some stuff that he could basically flip on Craigslist. Now he's not buying it. This is how they broker real estate. When you hear them talking about real estate wholesaling, this is exactly what they're talking about. It's the same process. Is that they find that you go and you find something to sell.
Yeah.
Something that somebody needs to sell, and then you find a buyer for it.
There you go.
So guess what? You connect that buyer with what they're looking for, and then they make the exchange. You get your cut, and now you have some money.
Yeah.
He didn't have any money, but now he had money, and that's how you have to do it. You got to think outside of the box.
And then like what Gigi say, it's so many Grant Cardone, it's so many wealthy people. They went into businesses and they say, let me grow your business. They didn't have no money. They didn't have nothing. I'm going to do some marketing for you. I know one guy, he's a young guy. He's very wealthy. He sells cars. He does online car sales, but he sells high-end cars now. But in the very beginning, I remember he said he went into, I think, a Honda dealership, and he went and he says, can I sell some cars and will you give me a commission? I don't want to necessarily work for you. I just want to know if I bring a customer your way, can I get a commission? And they agreed. And he would bring in cars, bring in people. And then later on, he got with somebody on the finance side, and he started getting them already pre-approved. And then he was bringing in pre-approved customers. Next thing you know, they start wanting to give him opportunities. And next thing you know, he became lead sales. It's so many different ways that you can develop. And some people say, well, I can't sell. I don't have that kind of personality. I'm kind of off to myself. Well, you're going to have to get out yourself, because you're trying to achieve some things that you wouldn't ordinarily do, right?
Yeah.
Because whatever is going on in your life, if you're struggling, then you're going to have to create that gap between struggling, because it's something about being broke. When you're broke, everything tears up. You get sick.
Yes,
the children
get injured.
Sick. The car break down.
Yeah.
House have issues.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. Your shoes tear up walking into to the job.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden you got to go pay a bill that you didn't even know you even had.
Yeah.
All of that stuff happens, and it just attracts and tracks. So you got to separate yourself from that brokenism. And then once you start separating yourself, things will start aligning in your favor. And then when you hit those bumps or you hit those different kinks in the road, you'll get to bounce back a whole lot better. So go ahead, baby. I was going to just kind of go, because I do want to try to achieve something, because I've been doing these lives and I have not been completing my task. And so I'm looking at 2 to 4 years, all right? We got a 2 to 4 year plan, right? So the first thing you want to do, you want to initially plan. You want to assess your financial situation. You want to take a look at your financial situation. You want to look at your income. You want to look at your expenses. You want to look at your debts. You want to look at your savings. You want to take a real good, hard dive look at what you're spending. And what I would recommend you doing is doing this thing right here. Get you the old school notepad. And like tomorrow, just say tomorrow, I get up tomorrow, write down everything you're spending. Just write it down. And then just add it all up. And over a week's time, just take a look at it. And then go into that next week and just say, what last week that I did that I don't have to do this week? And you can just take 1 or 2 items, and you'll be amazed on, especially with the inflation now these days, you'll take 1 or 2 items and you might have $40, $50 extra that following 2 weeks, right? Once again, we're talking about stacking upon stacking upon stacking. If you want to go just the solid route, you can just, once you get up 1,000 or something like that, you just put it somewhere into a good, maybe a CD or something like that. I'm not attracted to it because I can do better with making that money move than a CD can.
Let me tell you a story. My best friend, I was telling y'all before about her aunt who was like, she was asking her aunt, like, how are you getting all these homes? How are you getting all of these houses, and you just let them go? Like, you just able to let them go? And she was like, I don't fall in love with things. I don't fall in love with things. I use those things for my benefit. And that same aunt would take all of her grandchildren's lives. She would buy them like CDs, and she spent all of their lives buying them CDs for their birthdays, for Christmas, for whatever little holidays they had. And she told me just several months back that one of the grandchildren used those and bought a house. Bought a house. So it's the simple things. It's the little things, and that didn't happen overnight. She was a child when she started getting them CDs, for herself. But now she's an adult and bought a house.
And think about this too. You got different things too. A lot of us, you got insurance policies. You got insurance to mitigate some of your risks. You got disability insurance to mitigate some of your risks. You got a lot of different things that you can use as a tool to prepare yourself. Like, for instance, to give you a class example, what month are we
in? This is September.
September. Yeah. We're getting ready to be in what?
October.
Okay, so when you think about October, go with me on this. I know you're like, what in the world are we going? So October, what do you think about as far as holidays?
I just think about fall in general.
So what do you think about in October?
But you have the pumpkins, you have the
and what holiday is in October?
And Halloween.
There you go. Don't make it hard. We're gonna make it easy. What holiday is in November?
Well, you asked me.
What holiday is in November?
Thanksgiving.
Okay, what holiday is in December?
And Christmas.
Okay, so what can we do to prepare ourselves?
I mean, you can be preparing for, you can be growing some pumpkins.
Prime. Yeah, this is prime. I wouldn't say grow no pumpkins.
No, but you can. Look, do you know how much they're selling pumpkins for right now?
I know.
One of my coworkers just said to me that
do we have enough time to grow pumpkins?
She refused. If you get them things in the ground now.
So we should be growing pumpkins.
We should be growing some doggone pumpkins, and I got plenty of pumpkin seeds.
You do?
Because Shy sent me a bunch of pumpkin seeds.
What's up, Shy? That's what's up. So I'm thinking we need to get a little patch and grow some pumpkins, and then we can sell them.
Needed to been in the ground yesterday, but I mean it's still,
Well, I just asked you, did we have enough time? Now you're telling me we need to be. Let me tell y'all about Gigi, man. Yeah, the guy, Gigi, man. Gigi had you all over the place, man. Been with her for 30 years. Telling you, man. But no, seriously, babe. What this opportunity presents itself where right now you can be getting things together for the holiday season to sell to other people. Could be family members. It could be friends. I would encourage strangers, sell to strangers, because sometimes when you try to sell to family and friends, it don't quite work the right way, right?
Your best customers are strangers.
But seriously, think about some of these things. So we talked about the financial planning, documenting, building a budget. I know it's taboo, but building a budget, right? Another thing is start the research. Once you take a good account to what you want, where you are and the status you are, check on them because they sound like they're into something. But if you got a status to where they are and what's going on, then guess what happens? Still missing that blower? Probably that blower. I heard hard plastic.
A piece of a jug.
I know I heard some plastic. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But you wanna start working on some of those things where you position yourself to go into this next year on fire. Yeah. Because it'll be here before you know it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't got but a few more months, right?
I know.
And then, what are we doing to position ourselves? Because we already know when it gets cold, money starts slowing down. After the holidays, money comes to a screeching halt. That's why they put income tax and all that back in the days when people used to get it at the beginning of the year, because man, back in the days when you used to actually get an income tax, make me want to have some more children, that kind of stuff. But now these days it's not like that, and so we know cold times are coming. People not going to be moving a lot, but now you have this beautiful thing. If you're a YouTube content creator, go ahead and get on your game. Go ahead and understand more people going to be indoors. So your sub should go up, your watch time should go up, and all of that stuff. What we got in the chat?
Kathy said that's a great idea, growing pumpkins. How you doing, Wayne?
What's up, Wayne?
Facts. I wanted to save more, do better each year. I cut out eating out and going out. Already saved 12,000 more this year by cutting these things out. See there?
See?
It's the simple things. It's the simple lifestyle changes that'll get you what you want. Let me hold $5, Wayne. Sweet Phone said, you will make more money starting conversations at the gas station, at the gas pump, than people you talk to every day. That is a fact.
Man,
that is a fact.
If people weren't so crazy, I'd be pumping people gas. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you want your gas pump? You don't have to get out of the car.
You're like, no, you better get away from me.
Well, people funny now, you know. So
I can pump my own gas.
And you already know. You already know how I feel about that. I wanted to close the door on that woman one time. I wanted to slam, but it had that hydraulic. I couldn't slam the door on her. Open up the door.
I will wait at the gas pump for my husband to come from wherever he at to pump my gas.
And you've done it too.
I hate pumping gas.
You've done it too. Have to drive all the way to the other side of town. She's sitting up there like, looking on the phone.
Pumping gas. I really do.
What you doing? What you mean by what I'm doing? No, the question is, what are you doing? I'm at the gas station. And
shoot, that's why you have a husband.
I know you're on lunch.
David said, right, give him $5. $5.
I mean, but when you think about it, now you're in the money range where you get some thousands of dollars. This way it get tempting and stuff. We'll continue to tell. What's up, Boss Hog?
How you doing?
Did I tell y'all Boss Hog sent me a package? I think I did.
Yeah, you told him last week.
I had my gear on yesterday out there in the yard, Boss Hog.
Come on, Happy Mac.
They were shooting in the air. I had my hard hat just in case any pellets come down. And I had my safety glasses on.
Yeah, I was so proud. I was like, look at him all geared up and stuff.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Crazy dogs, man. So wild.
And they know we watching.
They know that we are watching. They have a crowd and they love it.
So I'm talking about the 2 to 4 year plan. We're gonna let's move.
Okay.
Let's move.
Let's
go. GG. Let's get this thing going. Right. So we talked about access your financial. Take a look at your finance. Let's do some research. Where do you want to put this place? Think about where do you want to live. Think about what area.
Yeah.
Man, be specific about your goals and your dreams.
Because let me tell you one thing about being out in certain country areas. I'm gonna let you get back to it in just
You're not. No. It's okay.
But
y'all think I be hard on Gigi, but I'm telling you, man, Gigi is a strong woman. She's a beautiful woman, and you got to know how to handle that beautiful thing. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all y'all got to know. She made me the man I am today.
So
go ahead.
So you made me lose my
that boy still got it. King David, the boy still got it there. That boy made a stutter, boy.
What I was gonna say? Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So
Virginia Bushcraft.
How you doing, Virginia Bushcrafter?
So you yesterday? What day yesterday? I think you was on a live yesterday with my boy, Vision. I think you was on live with Vision yesterday. Good. Yeah, that was a good live.
Yeah. So when you're talking about coming out in the country and leaving civilization, you got to consider: do I still need income?
Do
I still? Did I get ahead of you?
No, you're good. Okay. We moving.
I still need income, and if you don't have a good YouTube channel where you actually get paid from it, then you need to be considering. You need to be considering something else.
So let me put a pause on that. Our dream was. We would have this beautiful piece of property in the middle of nowhere. We would enjoy the earth. We wasn't too far from resources, but you're still talking about 15, 20 minutes, right? But our goal was, man, let's have a garden. Let's have a nursery. Let's make money on YouTube. Let's have sponsors. Let's build this thing. And now we can live off the land and we can diverse by investing in some other stuff once we get the money rolling. And reality did just like this.
Ow.
Reality
would like take your.
I would show you my buttocks, but I won't do it on YouTube. But it kicked me and it kicked us. Yeah. And reality kicked in to the part where you sit at home and you plan everything. Let me tell you, we plan. Don't get it twisted. We had a plan. We had a game plan. We would sit. We would write some stuff down. We generate some stuff. But reality happens, and it happens to the best of those who even plan. So that's why it's so important that if you at least plan, it can keep you on track. You know, everything, of course. Oh wow! Since the pandemic, services went up. Since the pandemic, supplies went up. Everything went up. Everything went up, and the quality of service went
in the ground.
People making true commitments and people holding on to timelines like they said they were going to hold on.
People word means nothing today.
Period. Even in writing, sometimes. I mean, and the big companies, this is what they love to do. The large companies love to say, "Sue me," because you ain't got no money to do it anyway. So that you'll sign agreement, they'll sign agreement. They'll be like, "Sue me." We'll deal with the consequences later on. You know what I'm saying? We'll deal with consequences later on.
Yeah.
And the way that they'll do that, they'll just string it out till you just deplete all your funds, until you become insane to the part where you just working just to pay those attorney fees. But nevertheless, what's going on?
I traded a bad habit, the nightlife, with a good habit, YouTube, gardening, etc. It's all about just changing our habits sometimes. And I realized I was burning good money in them streets, in the matrix. You absolutely right. Yeah. Absolutely right about that. Absolutely.
You ain't by
right.
yourself. I mean, you ain't by yourself.
We are speaking facts. You want to live over there, but don't even know the price. And I didn't even say. Yes, I did.
I put a pause on you. No, I put a pause.
I went through it. I was talking about you got to have a source of income. You got to know where your money is going to come from, because in a lot of the very small communities, like, you got Walmart, you got Lowe's, you got grocery stores, you got Dollar General, but is that the same type of money that you accustomed to make it and accustomed to living off of? That's the question.
Now, so going back to, like I said, give yourself a minimum. I'm saying a minimum of 2 to 4 years, but everybody's different. Some people can do this in 6 months. Some people can do this in a year. But if you're patient with this thing, you're going to take things and buy them in small chunks in preparation. Yeah. You're not going to go out there and just try to do everything. And I wouldn't recommend that. If you never lived on the land, you don't have no infrastructure on the land, you don't have no way of understanding how things work. And just remember, everybody out here in this country ain't poor.
Right.
Don't get that twisted. When you see $80,000 and $120,000 trucks pulling up, and they pulling off equipment $300,000 and $400,000 and $500,000, and they just making stuff happen. Understand that you're out here with them. Mm-hmm. You're consuming with them, and you're watching results of generational wealth. Yeah. And you're trying to obtain that within your lifetime. Understand?
You just starting. You just starting to try to break them curses and build that type of, just to have, even if you don't make it to millionaire status, you just trying to get to thousandaire status, so that you're not having to trade all of your time for money.
And this is the thing.
But them people, they
screw million,
generations ahead.
Screw billion. Stop looking at a number and really start looking at goals and objectives.
And your freedom, and your time, and your options, and your ability to do things. That's the reason most people go after money, because they want the options, they want the freedom, they want the ability to be able to say what they want to do. That's why a lot of people are like, I gotta be business owners. How you doing, Sunday Backyard Farmer? Gotta be business owners, because that's the only way that you're ever gonna position yourself, other than if you get, if you just hit the right lick on whatever it is that you're good at. That's the only way that you're ever going to be able to truly be free, because you're not going to do it at a job. You're just not at the average job, unless you get to, like, CEO status, and then they make enough money to where they can put themselves in position and have enough contacts and, all of that, in order to be able to go to that next level. But us, just everyday workers,
and just understand
just ain't gonna get rich like that.
Everybody's different. Some people may go a journey that you're planning on going, and they may advance very quickly. Some people, they may not go as fast.
Listen, the universe has some great stuff for some people. And then there are some who just have to work harder.
And this is the thing. It when we talk about that goes into fairness, life is not fair.
It's not. Never
Get
been.
over it, and it's okay. And understand that your journey, you got to embrace the process. So if somebody's able to get a complete system, whatever, whether it's the well, septic tank, solar, generators, whatever, and you just able to just get a gas tank this month, it's okay. Get your gas tank and put it to the side.
Yep.
You know, if you're able to get maybe just one power station and somebody able to get a Blue Yeti out the yin yang, you know, it's okay. Get that power station. You know, because what you can do while you're living where you're living, you can use that power station to mitigate some of your electricity.
Shoot, that's what we do. We still do that. We still buy the smaller power stations. Yeah, we got a Blue Yeti in there, but we still buy the smaller power stations because we can grab them and take them right with us.
I mean, imagine this. If you got, what's up, Auntie? You got a project you're working on 2 or 3 acres down your property, right? And then you need some electricity. You just pick up the jacker or pick up the
gulu, or you know,
or
whatever.
We got some off-brand.
Yeah.
That you can just bring that electricity to where you need to go.
Yep.
And all of this will fit into place once you're out there on that land.
Yes.
Because things you didn't think you would use, you will definitely
you don't see how it's necessary until you are living off grid.
Yeah.
When you don't have, we ain't got no power out here. For those who are new, we don't have any electric lines or anything. We still got work to do before we can even get that infrastructure put in out here. Yeah. So those things are lifesavers. Like, you gonna pick up your generator and just go back there? No, you're not.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna just be able to pick that up. So it makes a world of difference. And you know, I would see people like, you don't need all that stuff. You don't need all that stuff. Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna need as long as you're living in a comfortable environment. But when you start living off grid, we didn't know everything that we needed until here, but we had some ideas off of some stuff that we've seen. But everybody has their own different needs. Every homesteader has their own different needs. And what one family might need, another may not need. It just depends on what's important to you. Wait, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. So another thing is knowing the cost of what you want, being specific about what you want. If you're looking at land and you want to start from the very beginning, you just say you're looking at, I'm not even gonna say acreage. Just say you're looking at $50,000, or just say you're looking at 120, or say you're looking at $250,000 just in the land. Make sure that land is truly what you want. Try getting up in the morning before you go to work. If you're depending on a job that you have to physically go to, try getting up earlier in the morning and then going to that land and driving from that land to your job. And ask yourself, is this something I want to do every day? Is this something I want to pursue every day?
Am I in great health? Am I in the health to be able to do it? Hi, Shawnee. How you doing? Hi, Mike Check. Mike Check Mag. How you doing?
Mike Check. I like that.
I think that's Mike Check Mag.
How you doing? So these are real factors. I mean, you might be looking at a beautiful side of town, and sometimes land is not available. You know, you might be looking at some on the outskirts, like where we used to live at. We wanted something specific to where we were on our side of town, and there was land available, but an acre would run us $100,000 for an acre.
It was crazy.
5 acres, you might get lucky. And we're not talking about great land. We're talking about
still land that you had to work.
Yeah.
Still mostly wooded land that you still had to work.
Yeah. So set your goals in a way that you're going to be realistic within this 2 to 4 year plan.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can't find something, the ideal piece what you like, there's nothing wrong with securing some land strategically. Yeah. What I mean by that, if you're in a city, it's upcoming, you know they're redeveloping before they redevelop, not when they redevelop, before they getting So for instance, Atlanta, we got a lot of people from Georgia. if you in Atlanta, you know Atlanta is constantly growing. I think I was looking at television while I was up there, and there was a guy that was talking about projected growth of Atlanta. Mm-hmm. They're looking at something like within the millions of people going to be going there by 2025. How they preparing and how they are rezoning and how they're doing a lot of different things as far as no lot, like zero lot line building where you can butt up. Even people that live in town, they're allowing them to build other structures inside of their land and property where they can build multiple living residents instead of having just one living resident. So it's a lot of different things and different strategies that these cities. So you know that city is going to grow. You know that city, people are going to grow on the outward. They're gonna go out of town. So if you got any neighboring communities, it may be 50 miles, maybe 100 miles. Start looking at those communities. Start looking at those areas. If it's not the land that you really want, why not invest in some land that you know going to eventually grow? Yeah. And then later on, guess what you can do? You can sell it. You can sit on it for 5 to 10 years. Yeah. And in 5 to 10 years, guess what's going to happen? It sometimes, depending on where you are, it'll do far better than any type of investment tool that you can absolutely use. You never was planning on staying there, but you knew it was going to blow up.
Hi, y'all, girl. How you doing? Hey, that's y'all. What I did with my land. Was measuring the driving distance to places I do business and work. Yeah. I mean, you got to.
You got to. Because it may, by you doing that, it may tell you, I don't want this piece of property that I thought I wanted.
Right.
You know, it may tell you also, I need to rethink about, maybe I need to change who I do business with, who I interact with.
Cassandra said, a good example is over here in South Fulton. It's a desirable and developing area. You got to get in. You got to get in the game. I keep telling my kids, you got to get in the game. Just get in the game. And don't worry about it being fancy and all of this stuff. Just go ahead and get in the game. Because how else are you going to come up with $200,000 or more?
Yeah, if you're an average working person.
If you're an average working person, you know, how are you going to come up with that kind of money?
We see a lot of Instagram. We see a lot of TikTok. We see a lot of stuff. Like I said, I do a lot of traveling, y'all. And one thing I would tell you, people kill me when they say, I got my house in Miami, I'm this and that, I'm doing this. I do a lot of traveling. I say, I know that hotel. I know exactly where that room at. And I know that resort. That ain't their house. That's a resort. I know exactly where it's at. So I'm telling you, don't focus on what other people are doing. Focus on yourself and your own capability. It's not every day that people like Regenerative got 12 grand sitting in the bank. It's not every day that people have $100,000, $200,000 just sitting in the bank. How can you get 12,000, 100,000 sitting in the bank? Do you some real estate transactions? You know, understand, invest in real estate. I will tell you, invest in real estate. If you can't afford but a $2,000 lot, buy that $2,000 lot.
And like Wayne said earlier, like stop buying stuff that you don't really need, or stop buying stuff that you want, but that you're spending a bunch of money on that could add up for you.
Because if you do this lifestyle here, if you do this lifestyle, all them fresh clothes, all them fresh shoes, all them belts, and all of that hats and all that stuff,
man, it ain't gonna little boots started out so cute.
It ain't gonna mean diddly squat.
Then I wore them on the land. It was a wrap.
It's done. I'm telling you, all that stuff is done. You get out here working, you get out here moving. Even if you got paid staff, you still got to go out there and go with the staff. You got to walk the land, point out what you want, how you want it. And it's not going to be beautiful all the time. It's going to be wet. It's going to be damp. It's going to be dry. It's going to be arid. It's going to be all of that. You're going to have bugs all over you. You're going to be sweating. It's going to be all of that.
Hey, Sassy. How you doing? Happy blessed Sunday to you. Experience with Sassy. So.
But yeah, you want to go ahead and start developing and create a portfolio where you can be building and stacking on. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like if you're good with your hands, you might want to buy some stuff that's not assembled. You might want to invest in some things that you can assemble. So you know it's Christmas coming. You got maybe $1,000, and if you want to go to maybe the Alibaba or somewhere where you can buy a go-kart or some type of cool gas item or some type of scooter or something, and it's not assembled, go out there and consider buying it unassembled. getting it at a lower cost, and then add another. You spent $500-$600 on that item. You go out and you buy that item, you get it sent to you, and then you sell it for $1,200. You sell it for $1,300. You stacking your money within a couple of months, and now you looking at, okay, I done doubled my money in a couple of months. Now I can go out there and take a look at some land. If you want to finance that land, most time if you financing your land, you're gonna need about 20% down, most cases.
Yeah.
Even if you got great credit, you're gonna need about 20%. They call it high risk buying land, but that's bull crap. It's there to separate the haves and the have not. Yes. I'm convinced.
So get your credit
when the last time
together.
After a flood, after a fire, after an earthquake, that you heard that the land is gone. It's destroyed. But a house you don't need but 3.5% if you're doing an FHA. Come on.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
It ain't going nowhere. Yeah. It ain't going nowhere. That land is gonna be there when all of that other stuff is gone. That land still is gonna be there.
And even if we burnt this whole place down, guess what's gonna happen? Stuff gonna grow right back.
It's gonna grow right back. Trust me, because we be burning it.
Sometimes it grow back faster than what it is. You know what I'm saying?
We do our own prescribed burning out here. We be like, God, man, it's growing back already, but it grows healthy and thick and all of that. So when I purchase something, the days it has to work to save, support, or sustain. Listen, if it's not going to benefit you, then think twice about buying it. I mean, that might, but whatever works for you. I'm gonna start minding my own business. What you guys are saying is so on point. I have totally stopped spending unnecessarily, and I'm focused on buying me some land. And listen, and Sassy has a beautiful setup. I don't always say nothing, but I be here and there and some are everywhere. But still saying I'm buying me some land. It has a beautiful setup. So you just don't know. You have to sometimes don't mind getting a little dirty to get your land together. I always like to play in dirt.
but can you imagine this? You know, when we got out here, right? It was nothing. And I know that we're going at maybe a snail pace to some, but it's fast to others, but it's just right for us. And we're getting closer to deciding how we're gonna do the house and what we're gonna do with the house. But we're not in a hurry because we want to make sure what we do, we're cementing something into history, into time. And we want to be strategic about what we're doing. We want to be intentional about what we're doing. But to get to this point, you got to be disciplined. You got to put yourself, set your goals, look at it, put it at your job, put it in your car, put it on your refrigerator. Look at it, stay focused, and just keep plugging along because those little small increments, they will add up. Another thing, realtors would not want to hear this, but I'm going to tell you. Find you a good realtor that's patient. If they ain't got no patience with you on their first time, cut them off.
Yeah.
If they seem like they're rushing you, cut them off.
Yeah.
Don't play with it. If they seem like, well, you need to get this done before I go out and show you, cut them off. Don't waste your time. Get you a realtor that understands your process and what you're doing. Let them know, hey, I'm in the market. Just like if you got a car dealership, you say, hey, maybe in the next year I'm thinking about buying a car, but I want to check out. If they don't have no patience, no time to show you through cut them off because they're not going to be for your good intention. And you're talking about a long-term, big investment that's going to impact the rest of your life. So don't rush nothing.
I want to go back to what Cassandra said.
Okay.
She said that her house is almost tripled. And she's thinking about selling and buying land nearby with no HOA. Listen, in some places, the HOA is just going to be a thing. But if you can get out of that, if you can get out of people controlling you, you want as few people controlling you as possible when it comes to the place where you lay your head down and the place that you have paid to put your money.
Yeah.
You put all of your money, all of your hard work, and then you got a group of people who think that they somebody who can tell you what to do, what color you can paint your stuff, when you can cut your yard. Now, if you don't have any other options, then go for it. There are some places, and then particularly when people get older, and then some areas, like some of the areas in South Florida where one of my sisters lives, all they had was HOAs, because it's like, communities where there are elderly people who need all of the work that the active HOA will actually do. But there are some HOAs out here that don't do jack, but just try to look around and start for trouble. And then what you have, I'm sorry, I'm going on a little rant, but some of the people who live in those HOAs, they even try to start trouble for you. Going to tell the HOA because
but you know what you have to do with situations like that
in your backyard.
You have to get involved with your HOA.
You cut them jokers off.
Okay.
Cut them off. If you can get out of the HOA, cut them jokers off.
So if you can't get out of the HOA, y'all, get involved.
Get involved. I'm sorry.
It's hard to believe. This does say Eco Nation.
Okay, right? Baby.
You got a GG channel, right? I'm just checking. You got a GG channel. You be riding out, man. Give me 15, 20 minutes. I supposed to been off this thing by about 20 minutes ago. But anyway, check this out. If you do have an HOA, get involved, because those members are voted in and out. All right. I know it's frustrating, but you might need to be. I got a good Randy. I got a good friend of mine. He said he didn't want to be controlled by no HOA, so he became the HOA president. He said he had to keep them people in check, because when he first got there, he didn't like what they were doing to him. So he said, "Hey, I tell you what." He went in politics a little bit, passed out some flyers, talked about his goals, initiatives, developing the HOA, and he became the president. And he's been maintaining the president of the HOA for quite some period of time. And his neighbors love him, right? So sometimes you have to get involved with the game, because some of us, we have to maintain in our own area, right? But check this out. Yeah, really 40 minutes ago. But anyway, check this out. This is the sad part. I really work towards these lives and stuff like that. I got about like 4 or 5 pages every time I go live with information to keep me on task, but it never works. And I never even scratch like I ain't even really covered 2 or 3 points. I got a bunch of information I would love to share, but we're just gonna have to do it over a period of time, and eventually y'all will get it if you keep watching. Hopefully y'all keep watching. Maybe it's a blessing that I can't get through it, because hopefully you all will continue to support the channel. But going back to the cost of everything.
Hello from upstate New York. How you doing, ex-NYC prepper? Good to see you.
Prepper. We got preppers on here. This by way of Vision, man. Much love to Vision, man. Thank y'all, Vision. Thank you, Vision, for Trent, for sharing, for supporting the channel and sending people our way. Many blessings and welcome. Vision preparedness. So, going back to doing this journey is find that realtor that's going to be patient enough. If you're looking for raw land, you want to develop. It's so many beautiful things to develop. I always want to push developing your own land. There's nothing wrong if you get land that has all the amenities and everything like that. The older you are, the more I recommend that. The younger you are, the more I recommend imagine buying a piece of property, owning some acreage, and you are the law, the governor, the president, you everything in that piece of property. And I'm going to talk to my brothers, because I am a brother, an African American, right? It is so freeing to have a place where you can bump your music, whatever song you want to play. You can sit and drink whatever you want. You don't have to be harassed. You can stand around and talk to friends.
You don't be loitering.
Be rich.
You don't be loitering.
No
on
loitering
your
zone. Come on, be rich. Come on through, be rich. You could just chill. You don't have nobody driving up on you, giving you no evil looks, looking at your tag. You don't have nobody asking you for your ID or why are you here. You are here. You can cut through a road, and if you want to name it Juicy Mama May, you can name it Juicy Mama May Way. If you can cut through a road and you want to name it after you want to dedicate it to your mama, to your grandmama, to your uncle, to your sister, you can do it. And if you want to put a plant right there where you want to plant that plant, you can put it right there. It's not offending nobody. It's not obstructing nobody. And if you want to dig it up, you can dig it up. It is so freeing. And so that's why I say, what's up?
David, about the cows, somebody out there north.
Hey, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. They don't hear all that noise, but they're going to hear it. Friday night. Mm-hmm. But it gives you that freeing. So I would recommend if you're young, go ahead and really invest in some good, pristine property. Understand that, especially if you're young in your 20s or your 30s, it's going to change. And plan for that change. That area is going to change. Roads may be dirt. It may not be dirt roads in 20 and 30 years from now. They're going to be, if you're near a little small town or near a small community, it may become a town. It may become a city over a period of time. So what are you adjacent to? Are you adjacent to a major highway? Are you adjacent to a major thoroughfare?
Yeah.
If you're close by something like that, understand the road going to get wider.
Yes.
Some of your property may be taken.
Gonna be taken.
And then they're gonna add a little bit more to put in some power, some fiber optic, whatever they're using at that time, and understand that the roads are gonna get noisier. Things are gonna get a little bit more stringent. So keep that in mind.
Heating, even when the lights are. My son's HOA restricts them from using alternative heating, even when the lights are out. I don't know if it's a federal law, but I know in the state of Florida, if you have solar panels, they can't do jack to you. They have to allow solar panels. I don't care what that neighborhood looks. Trust me, I read the statute.
Well, this is the thing.
Okay.
This is the thing. She don't even know what I'm getting ready to say.
Anyway, go ahead.
That's why I said you gotta be tough, man. You gotta be about this life.
Okay.
But check this out. What I'm saying is, in many cases, you really don't. Some cases, depending on your solar system, you don't own that solar system. You think you do, but you really don't because you tapped into the grid. The grid, by law, by design, if you're tapping into the grid, you start going into federal regulations. And when you deal with federal regulations, you're now they can control what they do and what they don't do. The crazy part about it, if you are into that system, you should be getting paid every month. You shouldn't have to pay no light bill.
You shouldn't have to pay jack.
You shouldn't have to pay nothing because you've been given and sharing your space on this planet, that sun, and I guarantee you, if truth be told, a lot of times when it's bright and it's sunny, you're paying for other folks' lights and you're paying for everybody else. That's why I say they should be cutting you a check every month rather than you paying a check. But anyway, I'm getting off subject. Let me stay focused. Also, you want to build an emergency fund in a lot of this. So we're talking about generating savings. So to keep you staying on task, if you're able to save $1,000 a month, $500 a month, $200 a month, $20 a month, take $5 out of that $20 and put to emergency. Because ish happens, right?
Yes.
Ish happens. Ish gonna happen.
Yes.
And the frustrating part about that, you could be having a $10,000, $12,000, $13,000 in savings and your truck tear up or your car tear up, and you're gonna be tempted to tap into that. The goal is not to touch it. Try your best. The only time you touch it is if you're making a financial transaction to the part where be rich. What's up, man? Appreciate that. Thank you.
Have you guys gotten any pricing on adding a pond on your land yet, and how expensive is it?
Yeah. So this one guy, he lives on the road not too far from us. I've talked to him. I got a coworker of mine who had one dug maybe a few years ago, but he's also getting pricing for somebody who he's helping develop some land. And he recently got a price, this guy that moved from upstate, anywhere from 7 to 10 just to dig it. Now, there's levels to this from what I understand with these ponds. The ponds, you got to have a water source. And you got to also have runoff for when it overflows. You got plumbing. You got a lot of that. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm just talking about digging a freaking hole in the ground, clearing, digging holes, and also having it contoured where the rain runoff can run inside. And we're talking about a dry pond to a pond where you're starting from scratch. I was also told there's a lot of underground reservoirs around here, a lot of springs. You may get lucky and tap into one. You may not get lucky and tap into one. This guy, he's dug, I think he's on his third pond, but man, you're talking about a beautiful, he got a pond right behind his house. And I don't know whether he dyes it or whatever, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful pond. and he said it took him a while. He had to dig through a lot of limestone. We got a lot of rocks around here. But he says the quality of the water is beautiful. So we're looking forward to that. That's to come. And that's one of them things where we're working on to develop and to put together. But you gotta plan for these things and plan for your emergency. So build your emergency fund, and then if you have to use that, try not to use it. But if you do have to use it, make sure you go back and you replenish it. Don't just say, okay, I had to use it and then stop. Keep going with this cycle, right? Another thing is visit. This is why I say you should give yourself 1 to 2 years, because I wish we would have did this. Pick you out a couple of pieces of land, right? Areas, not land, because we already know 2 to 3 years they're probably gonna be sold. All right, depends on your area. But find you 2 to 3 different places that you would like to buy some land, and then visit them every single season. Visit those areas every single season. If you got, some people got rainy seasons, some people got hurricane seasons, some people got dry seasons. Visit that land at different times so you can get a good perspective of what you're going to be dealing with. Yes. Come on, Gigi. I know you got something to say about that.
No, I'm let you keep going because I know we got to get on.
Yeah. Now, if you're considering financing, save your down payment on the property, but also save some more, because you're going to need closing costs.
Protect your credit at all
times. Yeah. Keep your credit healthy. And if your credit is not healthy, start working on it. Develop a 12-month. You need 12 months of nothing but good, continuous, solid payment.
And don't be scared to ask. Don't be scared to hear no. I think a big problem with a lot of people is that they don't like to hear no. If that's the worst that somebody can say to you, no, and hurt your little feelings for a minute, like, you're still doing good. Don't be afraid to hear no. Our credit, well, I ain't have none because I wasn't working, but his credit was not the greatest when we got our second piece of land, but he was bold enough to go and talk to the people, bold enough to go and go in front of the board, write letters, whatever else he had to do, to still ask, hey, would you all be willing to do this? I've been saving money. Yeah, my credit is not looking like y'all want it. It's not no 680, but I got some money. Can you let me please get this piece of land under you? And places like Farm Credit, they are great because they'll do in-house financing. I was telling that wasn't Family Man, that was I can't remember his name, but we were talking about the barndominiums. When I put the barndominium video up asking, could you live in this? And he was saying that he wasn't able to find anybody. Well, if you got a Farm Credit in your state, they do private loans. So, talk to them just recently. You gotta have that 680 credit score. You're not gonna be able to get around that, especially when you're talking about people giving you however many thousands of dollars it takes to get land in your state. So you gotta make sure you keep that credit together.
Classic example: ex-NYC prepper. He said he would like to buy a piece of land in Florida. My question is, what part of Florida?
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, some people don't understand how big the state of Florida is. I know Texas is big, but it's a square. Florida is very inconvenient.
Yes.
You got to go. You got the northwest over Pensacola.
Yeah.
It's like another state over. Right. Going to Orlando. You go to Miami, it's totally different.
Yeah.
You go to Jacksonville, it's totally different. Tallahassee is totally different. Yeah. Gainesville, totally different. Yeah. Tampa, totally different.
Yeah.
All of these different places, Naples, Sarasota.
Yeah.
And the markets are totally different. When I tell you, it's nothing to see $33 million for a house in some places, and then you go another place, you see the same house for maybe $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. So it's cross the board crazy.
Hey, hands in the dirt.
Hands in the dirt. What's going on, man? Welcome to the live, man. Good to see you. But yeah, you wanna really isolate and kind of find your place. And if you're thinking about Florida, be careful about land. Be careful about land. Be careful about land, because We got things they call sinkholes. We got things they call wetlands, flood zones. You'll see incredible prices, but they probably gonna be a flood zone.
Yeah. So, and that goes back to what
they
you were
even sell
saying
unbuildable property. Come on.
Oh yeah, they'll sell it for a good price too.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen land where you cannot even build on it.
We stopped even looking. Like when we were looking before we ended up buying this land, there was this one house that we were all on. We were all, everybody was like, yeah, this is it. But we got outbid by how much? I don't know.
About 80.
It was a lot. We got outbid by a lot. That
and
house
we put
sold,
some on top of it.
Yeah, that house sold way over what the asking price was. Probably close to 100,000 over what the asking price was on that house. But that would have been like the perfect house for us. It was a party house. It was exactly what we needed. I already had in-ground pool. The neighbors already had chickens, so we knew that wasn't going to be a problem. It was only about maybe 2.5 acres, if that. But it was perfect. It was perfect. And we were just like, oh yeah, we got to get this one. We got to go for this one. And child, we put in a nice offer over asking price. And they came back to us saying, is that your best offer? And we was like, yeah, that's kind of our best offer, because we realized that prices were hyper inflated. So fast forward, we didn't get that house, obviously. But then we were looking in that same area still. And in the area, I just told him after a while, I'm just not looking in that area anymore, because there's so much marshland in that area. I just wasn't even going to look over there anymore. And we still didn't. And he went just recently to look over there. And he was like, why we stopped looking in this area? I guess he had forgot why we stopped looking in this area. And so he was looking at the description, and I said, yeah. I said, but how much of it is buildable?
Yeah, it's nothing.
And he was like, dang.
We'll look at some land and say 10 acres.
Yeah.
And 3 of them
and I'm
may
like,
be buildable.
All you got is two to three that's buildable in that area. So we just like, it's,
and that can be good. Like if you want your isolation, you don't want undeveloped land around you, that could be good. But just understand.
But that flood insurance, how that flood insurance be hitting though?
That's where I'm going.
It hits on a whole different level here. I mean, if the regular insurance just for your structure and for your accessories is high, and then you got flood insurance on top of that, like it just prices you out. So
it's evident that I'm not gonna be able to finish everything.
Yeah, we can't finish everything.
Yeah,
Sanford said, can they have a drumstick ice cream
My
too?
bad. I got a little hot. This sun to beat me down. I can feel it.
Yeah, the problem is, David. The problem with that is
what they said
is that they're gonna have. He said the other people knew what it was worth, but it wasn't. No, it was just a hyperinflated market, is what it was. So now they're in a house that it's gonna take them some time in order to actually get. But I know that was like a long-term living house. It was like California style, had the in-ground pool, like everything. It was just perfect for us. It was exactly what we needed. Had the it had a wood burning fireplace,
and
not
then the roof was like the stone.
It was like California style. It was beautiful.
The lifetime roof and everything.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was well built too.
It was very, very well built. Times are bad economically. I have a realtor who specializes in rural farmland only. Been looking. She told me we're going to hold for a month because rural land is getting cheaper. Folks need that money. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So if we would have paid that price, if we would have paid 100,000 over for that property, and then the market is going to correct itself.
Yeah, it's going to correct itself.
That's just what it is. We've been in this game for a very long time, and we always see it. We always see it happen. The market is going to correct itself, and then those same people who paid these overinflated prices for those homes are going to be looking crazy because they're going to be needing to leave. They're going to be wanting to leave or needing to leave, and they're going to have to sit on it. For 7 to 10 years is typically what we tell ourselves. If you're going to get in this, be ready to sit for 7 to 10 years, and perhaps in that time you'll get what you need back out of it. And please research your land yourself. Don't take the seller's word for it. Never, ever, ever, ever.
Don't mean
what was the land used for before? You never know until you look. You better do this. This is why doing when I'm doing the classes, this is all the stuff that we talk about.
Yeah.
We talk about where you need to go, who you need to call, with the questions that you need to ask, all of that stuff. Because I'm telling you, them sellers gonna lie just because they got a face.
Winter time is coming, y'all. Winter time is coming. Winter time is coming. I'm gonna say this. Winter time is one of the best times to buy land. Not a lot of activity going on. Not people in the mood for shopping for no land. Springtime, summertime. I'm not just gonna say land. Real estate. Real estate. Typically, most of the time, not all the time, but winter time is the best time to buy, to cut the deals, to be able to do what you need to do. Because when people get moving around springtime, people get ready to buy houses. I don't know what it is about the weather.
I mean, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful out there. Fast as last year, I watched 2 homes built in what was a landfill lot when I was a kid. I bet they don't even know it. Of course, they're not going to tell it. Of course, they're not going to release that information. And then you have people out here getting cancer, and they can't figure out why everybody in this neighborhood is ending up with cancer. Why?
I mean, Tallahassee.
Why everybody out here ending up with lung diseases, cancers, goiters in their thyroid, like all of this stuff. And it comes from the fact that this Eco Neighbor channel.
What? What you say?
This Eco Neighbor channel.
I didn't hear you. What's that?
You got it, Eco Neighbor.
No, I was just gonna say, I know of a neighborhood that was a landfill.
Mm-hmm.
And the houses are very high. They got parks in there. They got a community lake. Hmm. The lake was the runoff part where they had the dump. And they got paved streets, lights. It's beautiful. You probably what you think the average house over there go for?
I don't even think you can get in any of the townhomes for less than $300,000.
Easy.
In other townhomes, and they don't even have pull-in driveways. They just have to park by the street. So you can't really have guests. Like, that's big for us. I know I talk about that a lot, probably, but that's big for us. We love having guests. We love cooking out. We love, being able to sit up under a tent somewhere and, just like have fun, listen to some music, just chill out.
So, needless to say, y'all, I thank y'all for coming on in.
Yes.
I thank y'all for hanging out with us on this beautiful Sunday.
71 people up in this thing.
71 people. Thank y'all, man. Please hit the like. That definitely helps. That definitely helps with the algorithm. I need some love from the algorithm, so don't forget to hit like. I see some stations.
Definitely won't be purchasing anything in Atlanta. It's hot out there. We were looking just recently in Atlanta area, and I was like, dang. I remember once upon a time when Atlanta was very affordable.
Hands in Dirt said what about?
Yeah, he said it was hyper inflated, so he won't be buying in Atlanta. So,
well, this is the thing too, my brother. When you're dealing with a hot market, a hot place, Atlanta, I don't see that within the next 10 to 15 years is slowing down.
Yeah, like Tallahassee.
It's just like this, straight up. You get cities like Houston, you get cities like Dallas, you get cities like Atlanta, Charlotte. There's certain things that may be hyperinflated, but it's going to keep growing.
Yeah, but the problem is with this society, with the instability, is that I don't trust nothing out here, and it's like so many games are being played to the point where, it makes you kind of think twice about, is this, if you're going to buy in these hyperinflated prices, it makes you kind of think twice about it. What?
That right there.
The off-grid trucker, how you doing? Did she just now realize it's eco? Oh, how you doing, off-grid trucker?
Where's the off-grid trucker at? What's an off-grid trucker? Yeah. But seriously, I know that you may not be able to get those gains that you want real quick. But just remember, this inflation, you buy it at an inflated rate and you sit on it for a while, even after market correct itself, it's going to surpass whatever rate you bought it at. Typically, if you buy, my mindset, if I buy at an inflated rate, I bet you
got to sit there.
They've been gone for a while. Ain't no telling what they got in. But I bet you that if my mindset is, if I buy at an inflated rate, what I do is I plan to, like Gigi say, sit there for a while.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, find what you want, know what you want, be specific about it, but condition yourself. Like I said from the beginning, if you're thinking about financing, make sure you got extra money because you're gonna need closing costs, you're gonna need surveying, you're gonna need different stuff.
I know that's right, hands in the dirt.
Yeah.
I'm counting on the hyperinflation.
Musa.
Helps me with the sale of my home.
Musa.
It's paid for, and I want all my coins. I know that's right, brother.
He don't know you. You changed your hair?
What you did different?
She did something different. He don't know you.
What are you doing, Shopper?
Yeah, see, one thing about these animals, they're not used to sisters. Sisters would, one thing about a sister, she'll look one way one day.
She'll have an afro one day, then braids to the waist the next day.
And they get confused. They be like,
he was looking at little Gigi like,
what that is? What that? She smells like somebody I know, but who that is? Y'all gotta be careful with switching up on these dogs out here, boy. They be switching up their outfits and the way they wear their hair. Them dogs be like, what the? But seriously, you want to have that money saved. You want to have you some extra money because you're gonna need surveys. You're gonna want to go out there. You're going to do different things to the land. You don't want to be at closing, closed, and broke.
Yeah.
That's frustrating.
Thank you, Resilient Dad. Says, tapping in from the Bay with respect. Thanks for the motivation.
What's up from the
Appreciate
Bay?
You.
All the way from the Bay.
Appreciate you.
But another thing, like I said, you want to be able to do a little something. So just, if you got the money to save, just go ahead and save just a little bit more. That way you can go and get some of that adrenaline down and get some things done that you need to get done. Because you want to be able to access your land.
Yeah.
You want to be able to at least cut through a small little road to get to the land.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. You might have a 4-wheel drive truck, maybe